Joining me now, Dr. Kavita Patel, a physician and a former health policy director in the Obama administration. Dr. Patel, give me the input of this. To me, it's a big deal to begin testing children this young, vaccinating them.
Yeah, Andrea, absolutely. No, this is incredible, and it's just the beginning. Other manufacturers, including Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, have also announced their own pediatric trials and are in various phases of that. The 6 months and older, though, set sights on most children potentially being vaccinated, Andrea, possibly at the end of this year, but it could very likely be the beginning of next year, 2022, and that's incredible. Remember, we have an authorized vaccine, 16 and above, in Pfizer, so we're looking at 12 to 16 and then younger than that, but this announcement, combined with the other manufacturers' announcements and pediatric trials, is incredible hope for a lot of the families out there.
Now, how do you calibrate a dose for these younger children? Is it by age or size, weight?
Yeah, we like to, so in medicine, we like to say that children just aren't little adults. And what that means is that we really do try to take all of those things into consideration. Andrea, they are, as you mentioned, doing 3 doses. And this very first study with about 144 participants across the world, 6 months and older, is what's going to help us calibrate what type of doses in the various age groups. And there is a lot of vaccine research to rest upon, Andrea, so that we know that the lower doses do tend to work in smaller children by weight. And that does usually correspond to age, but we absolutely will want to test that. And then the next phases 2 and 3, will look for safety as well as an immune system response. And remember, the good news is that they're not doing some sort of new vaccine. These are just doses of the ones that are currently being used by Pfizer for 16 and above. So there's safety data already in 16 and older, and they're looking for that in the younger population.
Now, I want to ask you about a new study also from the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology that finds that vaccinated pregnant women are producing COVID-19 antibodies at high levels, and that these antibodies can be passed on to newborns. Tell me the impact of that.
Yeah, this is building on research, Andrea, that we saw earlier in the pandemic, where we found out that pregnant mothers who actually had the coronavirus infection were able to pass on antibodies that they developed to their newborn, through the placenta, to their newborn children. And so it stands to reason that a vaccine that makes your body produce antibodies could be passed on, but we didn't have the data. And this further emphasizes, Andrea, remember that none of the trials were designed in vaccines for COVID to look at pregnant women specifically initially. So it's always been a little bit of a cautious area where you talk to your doctor. This recent data, Andrea, is a really compelling case for any pregnant woman out there to have the vaccine has greater benefits than they do risks, including protecting your newborn, because as we're talking about, there is not a currently authorized newborn vaccine for coronavirus. So that protection goes a long distance. And by the way, the study pointed out that there were no adverse effects to these antibodies being passed along the placenta. So great. Andrew, I can't believe we're standing here a year and that we have these incredible breakthroughs in progress. And it should leave all of us, in light of the recent news, optimistic overall for what is to come, and truly like a bright summer and fall ahead of us.
It's a total win-win. Dr. Patel, very briefly, we just heard from Gabe Gutierrez that they are not testing children at the border on intake, and that they're already seeing a lot of COVID. It just seems like testing is a very easy thing to do in an intake when they're checking them for other health issues.
Yeah, look, Andrea, that's my hometown. I worked on the border, and these are not just issues around COVID. There are many infectious diseases that we see, and all is that, and then also health effects of children who have been mentally traumatized, as well as potentially physically enduring what's happening at the border. So there is no excuse. You've said it best. This is something that we should be able to do. This is unfortunately a consequence of nobody taking responsibility. By the time they get to HHS, enough hands and human contact have passed that they can not only put themselves at risk, but put others at risk. Simply put, this needs to end. They need to be tested, and tested frequently.
Dr. Patel, thank you so much on all things.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.